Tony was introduced into my life in a weird way. I was sitting outside on the stairs to go to my apartment, and all of a sudden, he invited me to come over and play video games with him and a couple of his friends. I was basically stalking him inside of his apartment, playing WWE, and I was a huge fan at the time, so I just kept looking inside. That was 10 years ago, and it was great. My aunt Maritza was introduced into my life whenever my mom and I were going through major changes, and we were going through new experiences. My mom and I were moving to our new apartment, which was in the same apartment complex as hers. She was always there for my mom and I, supporting us and having our backs when we needed it the most. On the other side, Tony and I grew to be great friends. We would always hang out, and we would always invite each other over to each other's places to watch WWE, play video games such as Mario Kart, FIFA, PES, you name it, we played it all. We also started to introduce each other to our two friends, which we became friends with. I share such an amazing memory with Tony, and I'm going to share it with you guys. One of the memories that I share with him is us playing in the apartment complexes, and we were bored. We decided to go out. We wanted to play baseball at the time. And I remember the game being 2020. I had the bat, and my cousin was throwing the ball. And so when I saw the ball getting closer to my bat, I made sure I swung that bat as hard as I could because I wanted to hit the game-winning shot. And all I remember is that ball flying straight across a window, and the window shattered. The first thing I decided to do was run as fast as I could. But I turned around, and I realized that everyone's still back there because Tony's shirt could only go 8 miles per hour, so there'd be no way we would hide. And the main reason why I have this memory so vivid, like in my mind, is because Tony was there in a wheelchair with a bat, hitting the bat, but he wasn't running. He had a designated runner for him, and that's what made this experience amazing. With my aunt, she would always take care of me. She would always let me sleep over at her house so I could play with my cousins. My aunt has had a huge impact in my life because she somewhat started making me independent. Whenever I would sleep over, she would tell me, look, you go to sleep extremely early, we go to sleep extremely late, you wake up early, we wake up extremely late. So if you're hungry, don't be scared. There's food in the pantry and food in the fridge. You're old enough to cook, so cook. Those words made me realize that at 8 years of age, I should be cooking in the kitchen by myself. A memory I hold vivid, like with my aunt, is the day she invited all of us, all of the cousins. It was like 6 in total. And she also invited Tony over. And I remember playing video games until like 1 in the morning with my cousins. And we would always do this thing where we would want to bother my younger cousin. And what we would do was come up with a plan. The plan was, okay, let's wait until the first person goes to sleep, which was always him. And what we would do was we'd get an object, let's say a pillow or a ball or just something random, anything we could find. And whenever he would go to sleep, the first thing we did was throw anything we found to his face. And it was a great idea, honestly. So we would all act like we were going to sleep, and then we would wait until he started snoring. And once we heard that snore, we knew it was go time. We knew it was go time. So we grabbed any object that we could find, and at the count of 3, we decided to throw everything. And I remember that every single time we did this, my cousin had the same reaction. He would look up and say, "Hey, stop bothering me, let me sleep." And next thing you know, he'd knock out again. Fast forward a couple of years, and I find Tony unhappy, contemplating life. realized that there is no cure for his disease, realizing that his family is not there for him when he needs them the most. He wakes up every morning blaming himself for his disease, but he doesn't realize that it's not his fault. Now it's 2016. My aunt is diagnosed with colon cancer, and she is in stage 2 and does not know how to react. She sees her family with her, but they see her disease before they see her. What happens now? Society's main problem in these circumstances is exactly what happened to them. We forget that our loved ones are humans. We put their disease before them, their personalities, and their wants. We place them in this fictional bubble, and we categorize them as the sick, and we forget to realize that they're humans. They want to feel love, sympathy, compassion, and trust from their loved ones. But since we focus so much on finding the cure, we forget about all these human qualities. And when we do that, we completely lose focus on who they are, which can lead to terrible outcomes, such as depression, or even losing them. Tony has a condition. He has weak bones. He has gone through emotional difficulties and was constantly treated as incapable just because of his disease. My aunt had colon cancer. She went through the difficulties of radiation. She went through a lot of physical troubles. She was constantly treated as if she could not do anything by herself because she had cancer. Even though they have different diseases, they still want to be treated as humans. They still want the love, support from their family, but without them putting them under a label. They are humans, but we treat them as if they were the disease. After a long realization, I realized this. I realized of our mistake. This is my story about 2 people I hold close to my heart. But what I want you guys to take from this is that whenever you have a loved one going through a difficult time, don't put their disease before them. Never make them lose their human qualities. They are human. They are the same people we are, and we should treat them that way. Thank you.